All right, guys, welcome back. It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com. I'm in my awesome Uber driver. What's your name?
Hey, what's up? I'm Greg.
Greg.
Yeah.
Greg. I've never done this. I think Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, they do some weird Uber stuff, right? But today, we're actually on the way to PSA, Professional Sports Authenticator, in El Crapo, Southern California traffic. It's pretty crazy here, right? Traffic-wise?
Yeah, I'm getting off the freeway right now. I'm going to go local. The 5 is jammed up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, red everywhere. Look at this, guys. This is. Don't ever live in California. I mean, look, Southern California. Here's the problem: you pay absorbent taxes on everything. You have taxes on what? Your oranges, your avocados, your cans.
On gas. The gas tax here is insane. They make us the most expensive gas to get gas anywhere in the U.S.
Right.
We also tax on cigarettes. So if you want to buy cigarettes or gasoline here, you're going to be paying the most here in SoCal.
Jeez,
all California.
Have you guys eliminated the plastic bag rule yet? Because in Washington, where I'm from, Seattle area, they took away plastic bags.
Oh, we have to pay for plastic bags.
Oh, yeah, so right.
They used to give them away for free, but now you have to. Actually, you buy paper bags now. You either buy paper bags or reusable plastic bags.
Right. Trying to be conserve the earth.
Yeah, save the earth.
All right, guys. So the topic today is not about plastic bags. It's all about some magic, interesting tales. Interesting, Greg, he played and bought and sold Magic back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you tell everybody what you were telling me earlier about your, tell me how it all started for you.
Okay, so it all started is there was probably about 21 years ago, there was this huge fad, huge craze for Magic the Gathering cards. It all starts with one kid at school, he brings them in, he gets 2 people to start playing it, and then all of a sudden, for lack of better words, the game has now gone viral. Everybody watches these 2 people play a game of Magic the Gathering. Now everybody's into it. Now everybody wants to do it, right? So then once the player base was getting larger and larger, people started buying, selling, and trading Magic cards. Now the thing with that is it became so big that people were trying to make a quick buck. People were trying to scam each other. They were making cards with these fake plastic ones that you could attach onto other ones to make it seem like they were the real thing, right? So people were doing this, and it became almost like a Craigslist scam festival. People were trying to scam each other, and the market instantly broke down. They were trying to...
No. What kind of cards? Because you had mentioned some of these before.
You know what? I'm too old. I can't remember them anymore.
But Power 9? Dual lands?
Yeah, those ones.
Okay, the big power, the expensive
Pretty much
ones.
all the big name cards. So you saw a flooding of counterfeit cards from every direction of all these... I can't remember what the magazine was called. But
Scry and Duelist?
Yeah, Duelist. Okay. Duelist. They always had the pricing of the cards. So what people were doing was looking for these big name, big prized cards and counterfeiting them and trying to sell them in the marketplace. It got to a point where this is ridiculous. You can't all have, everybody in this school can't all have these ridiculous amount of high value cards, and they're just circulating them around campus. That's
high school or college?
It started in middle school.
Middle school. Wow.
People were learning how to scam and counterfeit cards just out of middle school.
Oh my God! What year was this?
This has got to be in the mid-90s.
Holy
it's got to be
moly.
The mid-90s. I was 10 years old at that time.
So this was that little plastic. Yeah, I remember that little plastic wannabe flip. But the thing is, what's funny about this is you're saying that the buyers actually bought into this crap.
They did at some point before it became really obnoxious. It got out of hand. People started taking a deeper dive into these cards, and then when I was buying these cards, I didn't buy the very expensive ones. I just bought ones that I needed for my deck, and I was like, wait a minute, this card looks kind of off. One of the borders in the top right, let me see what that is. And I just peeled off this card, and I just looked at him and was like, what the hell are you trying to pull, man?
Oh,
are you serious? Are you serious? And he said, oh, all right. I'm sorry about that. Here's some other cards. I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy from you. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God. So you know what's funny is I actually have some. So I'm going to PSA. They're the big grading company. You know them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I have these fakes that they want to see because the graders want to kind of take a look and all that stuff. So what's funny now is the fakes now, they're not, the peel off stuff doesn't happen. What they're doing, Greg, this is incredible. Okay. There's these cards called Collector's Edition, International Edition. They were square corner. They were actually Magic products, actual Magic products. I think it was like 94 they produced them. So 93 was the Black Lotus years and all that. 94 they did this kind of baseball card-esque square corner set. People are actually stripping the backs of those cards, clipping the corners, right? Because the Magic cards were the round corners, and then using like graphite glue so it passes these light tests and all that, to then basically have Black Lotuses.
No,
but let me explain. But let me explain to you the values. This is what's interesting. So back in the day, Black Lotuses, the collector's editions were like $100 to $200. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, if you did that whole, so people always ask, why in the world would you want to do that? Well, because the profit, right? So if you did that and got a beta one, made it like look like a beta, you sell for like $2,000.
Yeah.
That's like a 10x profit, right? And people were doing it because it looks like because an actual Black Lotus, because it is a Black Lotus, but it's not really. It's a collector's edition, whatever. So that's what people were doing. Nowadays, check out the profit levels now. If you did it now, it will cost you about $2,000 to buy that collector's edition Lotus. But if you clip it and it gets away and sell it, I had a guy come to my, I had a vendor, I'm not going to name the vendor, guys, at GP Vegas 2018, come to me with a beta collector's edition reback Lotus. I have it on camera. The guy, I chose not to do it because it was kind of like one of those things where I think it would probably make the guy look bad, right?
Right.
But I think what happened was his buyer bought the Lotus, clipped, didn't recognize it, wanted another vendor's opinion. Make sense?
Yeah.
And then that's it. You see what I'm saying? So basically, so a $2,000 collector's edition now becomes $20,000. So it's still the 10x margin. You see where I'm going with this, Greg?
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, let's be honest. $200 to $2,000, or would you rather have $2,000 to $20,000? I think I took the $20,000.
$20,000.
Yeah, I think that's an $18,000 profit is pretty good. Yeah. So that's why people do it. That's why it happens. It's absolutely crazy. And there's even like stupid small cards that are like maybe cost $1 or $2 for collector's edition. And if you just clip the corners, they're like $100.
I think they'll fly under the radar a lot better, you know, when you have those high ticket items. So you might do a strategy where it makes more sense just doing, you know, the smaller stuff. I mean, it's less likely to get caught. It's less likely to be scrutinized. But when you're working with 4 or 5 figures, man, it can get really risky. It can get definitely really risky there.
Yeah, it's like counterfeiting the $100 bills versus counterfeiting the 20s or something.
Yeah, you counterfeit the 20s, you counterfeit the 5s. Nobody's gonna look at that. I mean, if you counterfeited a lifetime supply of 5s, you could have like lunch like forever. You never have to pay for food ever again. You
just go to the strip club and just give them 5s all the time.
Yeah, you just give them fake ones. You're not actually giving them anything. You're just giving them ones.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. So what else, Greg? Why do you think Magic? Do you think Magic was a cool game?
I think Magic was really fun. It was very highly addictive, and there was no shortage of players. There's been tournaments like everywhere, so you could keep going if you wanted to. But I think for me, it dropped off a little bit. A lot of people, I think once they got into high school, it became less and less of a fad. I actually had no idea it was still huge until you got in the car just now.
Oh, wow.
I thought I hadn't heard anything about Magic the Gathering like the longest time. I knew the game still existed, but not at the level that you described to me. So I'm honestly quite surprised that, you know, Magic is still going strong, even after so many years where I think it's been about like 15 or 16 years since I last played a game. But it was insanely popular, you know, in my younger days. And it looks like it's still insanely popular now, so that's definitely, you know, great to hear. Great to hear.
Yeah,
the community is still going strong.
It's crazy. All right, guys, that's a very interesting take. How random is it when you're driving in Southern California traffic? You meet it. Well, you know, I've talked to a lot of cool Uber drivers in my life, but Greg, you have to be the coolest driver.
Thanks, I like you too.
You know what's really funny, guys, is typically, guys, Uber drivers that I've met, they blast some kind of like weird music or they're talking on the phone or whatever. Greg is just professional. And so guys, if you guys are in SoCal area and Greg interviews for a job, you better hire his ass. Right, Greg?
Yeah, definitely.
So what is an ideal job for you? Seriously.
I don't know, man. Right now, anything, I work out of insurance, so if you have anything insurance related, definitely hit me up. And
like operations?
That sounds good, yeah.
Like marketing. Oh, you know, real quick before we go, Uber driver thing. how does that work, by the way? Like, just the nuts and bolts to get started. Is it worth it? Is it kind of, you know, is it kind of a scam, they say? Like, is it worth your time to do it? What do you think?
You know, if it's done the right way, it can be quite lucrative, but it's not something you want to be doing in the long term, because they're gonna be doing self-driving cars soon. But if done the right way, I think most people make about, you know, before expenses and fees and maintenance and all that fun stuff and gas, right? Most people make about, you can make about $1,000 a week. And if you really put in the hours and you go hard, and you're really smart with your time and where you are, being at the right place at the right time, you can make upwards of $1,600 to $2,000 a week. Again, that's if you work smarter and you know where to be at and you don't waste any time. So if you waste a lot of time just sitting around, you know, doing nothing, you know, you're going to make essentially nothing, or it's not going to be worth your time.
How about those Uber drivers that go to the casinos once in a while, back and forth? You know, maybe they just go to bars or go hang out with their friends and then drive once in a while. That's not efficient with your time, right? That's not the way to do it.
It'll work on weekends. It's really good on weekends, because weekends everybody's going to the bars, everybody's going out, and you know, I work full time right now. But if you just drove Friday, Saturday, Sundays, you know, you'll make. I can pretty much guarantee you'll make 500 if you drive in the years that you're supposed to. Just three days, you'll make 500. On average, probably 650 or 700. Just Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
What about taxes? I heard there's a problem with, you know, Uber drivers not paying their taxes because they thought that the money they came in was, I mean, you have to pay tax on that, right? Because you're a 1099, right?
Yeah, we're a 1099K. So if you make 20 grand in fares or more, then Uber's going to give you a 1099K. If you make anything less than that, Uber is not going to file anything with the IRS. It's pretty much a credit card transaction company. But the thing you will get 1099 is your bonuses. So sometimes Uber or Lyft, they'll give you driving incentives. They'll give you an X amount of money if you complete an X amount of rides. I believe that gets 1099. But the typical fares that we're in right now, kind of like I'm taking you. If I don't make 20,000 of these types of fares that I'm just driving you around for, then, you know, Uber's not going to file anything with the IRS, and they're not going to file anything with us either, so we're not going to get any tax documents. But it is still the responsibility of the driver to make sure that they're documenting, you know, all these rides and all these fares, and making sure that, you know, they're reporting it on the taxes.
Yeah, that's really good.
But the problem with that is the amount for most people is going to be under 20,000, so it probably will fly under the radar. That's the thing. Unless you make $20,000 driving people around in an Uber or a Lyft, you're not going to see that Form 1099K. Do people actually, when Uber pays you, they pay you by bank account, or how they pay you? There's two ways to get your money. They usually have a direct deposit that hits the bank account on a Wednesday. You can also have a prepaid debit card that has like a shitload of fees.
Oh, wow.
But if you want to do the debit card, you can get the money instantly, up to 3 times a day, I believe. I think most people, I'd rather not just pay that fee. I'll wait patiently until Wednesday to get my money.
Yeah. And yeah, Greg here is a hardworking guy, Southern California guys. He has another job, like he said, insurance, and he drives Uber on the way to work. Guys, I used to live in Southern California. I know it's been a while, but living here is ridiculously expensive. I mean, you guys get charged state tax, income tax, the federal tax, obviously. You get taxed on everything. The gas is the highest in the world. It's absolutely insane. I mean, dude, it is so expensive to live here. I don't even know how people here even, I mean, you may make more, right? You may make more from a salary perspective. You're like, oh yeah, I make 100K, or yeah, you know, I make 100K, or you know, but since Southern California, 100K, as you know, right, Greg, is.
Did you know if you work in the Bay Area, making 100K, you qualify for government-assisted housing?
Welfare, yes.
Yeah, 100K.
Actually, I looked that up. It was 140K. You get welfare, or 110K, or something like that. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, how many Timmys out there right now make 100K? Yeah, right. Timmy, by the way, is kind of our analogy for the average magic investor type of person. All right, guys. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's very interesting. Greg, thanks again.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys soon on the way to PSA.